Sunsoft is known for being one of the best developers for the NES, so it was a bit hard to find games that I would actually consider bad. But despite having a very good track record, I was able to find 3 lackluster games for the NES that are all pretty terrible. I'll save the worst for last, so let's kick things off with a more minor offender, and that is Fester's Quest. This came out in 1989, so this was 2 years before the big 1991 movie, but due to reruns in the 1960s Addams Family TV show, it was still pretty popular in North America. The game starts out with Uncle Fester in a party hat, or a dunce cap for some reason, as he's lounging in a chair drinking out of a juice box. Does this make sense? No, but it's the best part of the game in my opinion. So let's get to the problems. Where do I begin? For starters, you better get a turbo controller ready if you want to play this, because your thumb will be falling off after all of the tapping this game requires. You're constantly shooting your weapon because everything takes a ridiculous amount of hits, so this gets very tiresome. And once you do kill an enemy, don't get too comfortable because these things respawn ridiculously fast. Sometimes it's even at a constant pace. Getting the weapon you want in this game is a real chore. Along with the extremely slow pace at which you move, there is constant grinding to be done and it makes the gameplay a total drag. You do get a lot of items in this game, but it's too bad one of the items isn't the ability to go faster. The best weapon you can get is the gun that shoots spikes, but the spikes that shoot going straight, not in another direction. That's right, there are variants of each weapon and most of them suck. And once you do get the weapon type you want, be careful because it's real easy to accidentally grab an item that will downgrade you to your previous weapon. For example, if you touch a red gun item, that downgrades you. And because you need to be careful to not downgrade your weapon by running into an item, you have to wait for the item to disappear before you can pass. It's extremely tedious. The most useless weapon has to be the ball one because it goes into a curve, making it useless. It just goes around the enemy. So you'll want to upgrade as fast as possible so you're not stuck with this one. There's a feature of the game in the September 1989 issue of Nintendo Power, and they say Fester's aim is not good, and you'll need practice to score hits, which made me laugh. Maybe they were talking about that ball gun. Sometimes you can find health items, but get this, they're invisible. You stumble upon these health upgrades when you're walking inside buildings. Why don't they make it so that a heart or something is laying there in plain sight? Why make it a secret? It's stupid. If you manage to finally get to a boss, they start out right on top of you and there is no indication of how you're doing in the fight. There's no health bar and they don't even change colors gradually. So you have no idea how far along you are into the fight, which I find super annoying. And after all of this, there are no checkpoints. 0. So if you die, you start at the very beginning no matter how far you got. It's totally brutal. This could be a great game if these issues were fixed, but as it stands, it's very flawed. Next up, we have an even worse offender, and that is Xenophobe. This game is really strange for a number of reasons. The first thing you'll notice is that the screen is cut in half, only using the top portion. The bottom half just has the word Sunsoft bouncing around for the entire game. This is a port of an arcade game, so I would blame it on that, but it happens in the arcade game as well. It's just odd. You can choose from 3 characters, and naturally I chose the one that's half man, half duck. The main goal is to get a high score, and you do this by killing as many Xenos as possible. But the weird thing is that you don't have to totally clear the screen you're on before advancing to the next room. You just shoot as many weird alien creatures as you want before you feel like moving on. This makes it all feel pointless. Why shoot any of them? Although the controls aren't the worst ever, they aren't great. You move extremely slow, and at first I found myself accidentally crouching a lot. That's because you press down and A to crouch, then up and A to get back up. When you get hit, sometimes it knocks you into a crouching position, which causes you to keep getting hit until you can manage to get yourself up again. And sometimes if you find yourself in a situation like this, but you're by a door, it will knock you into the other screen back and forth. So you're kinda just stuck in the door between screens. And if you get hit too many times, it's back to the beginning of the game. But I guess that isn't really a big deal since the game doesn't have an ending. It just simply starts over again. You collect a lot of items in this game, like knives, bombs, and even a cup of coffee. But did I ever figure out how the hell to use these items? No. I looked it up and tried every button combination imaginable, but still no luck. So if you know how these are used, please let me know in the comments because I'd be curious to find out. One thing that is kind of a positive is that there are different kinds of aliens. I mean Xenos, that you'll encounter. There's clear ones that look like amoebas, flying frying pans, and these little green shrimp guys that look like tigers when they jump at you. All in all, this game is just really cheap looking, and it's shocking that it came from Sunsoft. Supposedly the Atari 7800 version is better, so just stay away from the NES game. And lastly, we have possibly the worst NES game that I've ever played, Platoon. Based on the war movie of the same name, this game takes place in the jungle and enemies come at you relentlessly. When you literally first start playing the game, an enemy jumps out of the trees and lands right on top of you. They waste no time on letting you know what you're in for. When they get dropped on you like this, it gives you almost no time to recover, leaving you vulnerable to getting attacked by someone from the side of the screen or on the ground. It's super annoying. You have to press up on the D-pad to jump, which is something I always hate. And this makes jumping over the tripwires a total pain in the neck. You have to move right or left before pressing up to jump, or else you'll just be jumping in place. It's super awkward. And because of this, sometimes when trying to turn around, you'll accidentally jump in the air, which sucks because then you are sure to take a hit. The whole first level is a maze with no map, so good luck making it past this stage. I sure as hell didn't. According to the manual, you're supposed to find the explosives, but it doesn't tell you how. There is no map, no compass, no radar, nothing. You just have to hope you can stumble upon it on your own. Wandering around like this is kind of reminiscent of Friday the 13th. Because, like that game, you're going up and down paths in the forest, or jungle in this case, but this is a lot worse, because at least Friday the 13th had a map. When I miraculously did find the explosives, it was so chaotic that the game actually froze for a minute here and it sounded like my NES was about to give out. Even the system wants this game to end. It's funny that there's a morale meter and the morale is always very low. I feel like if you want to lower someone's morale in life, you can have them play this game. That should do it. Even Nintendo Power said it will take all you've got just to survive this with your sanity intact. So there you have it, 3 bad games from Sunsoft. You may have seen my other bad game videos dedicated to specific old game developers. I've already done a video on Beam Software, Probe, Rare, and Ocean for this series of mine in the past. What developer would you like to see me tackle next? Please let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!